everyone, and welcome back. Welcome to, I think we're calling it the Great Glow Up Journey. We have reached 12 weeks. Cue the air horn. So this video is going to go over how the past 12 weeks have gone. Originally it was supposed to be 10 weeks, but that seemed like a weird kind of arbitrary number. You know, that's 2.5 months. Why not just stretch it to 3? A nice solid round measurable number. So we're at 12 weeks. I think actually at the time of this recording, we are at 13 weeks. And I think by the time I actually get this posted, we might be at 14 weeks, but this is about the past 13 weeks. Don't mind me if I keep looking down. I just have my notes on my phone, just kind of keep everything in order. So yeah, 12 weeks, that is 3 months. 1 month of that was by myself. And then the past 2 months was actually with my coach. So I'm going to give a little bit of an overview of how that it's going so far with the coach. But I just have to say, it's been a very interesting 12 weeks. It has been a complete willpower exercise. And I'm pretty proud to say I'm doing really well at it. I wouldn't say, I would say, I feel like it's gone by pretty fast and also seeing results. So that makes it that much better. So we'll get into like the coach update. I've been working with a coach for 2 months now. I found him through another athlete that I met at the posing clinic that I went to back in January. And it's kind of nice, you know, to meet people who talk highly of a coach. And so naturally you typically, you know, want to work with a coach. I did think he was local. He's not. So that was a little bit of a surprise, but it hasn't been that big of a deal. But it's been pretty good so far. It's kind of strict. Not gonna lie, it's kind of strict. I was thinking I could get a coach or a plan that would allow me to have a cheat meal or a free meal or whatever, you know, once a week, because naturally when you enter some sort of weight loss phase or you're trying to make these sort of changes in your life, you don't expect to just go full hog right in, cutting all the bad stuff out, like nothing, nowhere, anytime. I think he said winners don't cheat. So that sort of sets the precedence of the coach. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say that I haven't cheated. I haven't had a little something here and there, but what's been fascinating is I'm kind of learning how some of these foods are reacting. So it's prime example. I think it was last month. I was really craving a cookie, like for days. I was really just craving a chocolate chip cookie. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm doing so well. I've been pretty strict. You know, I've been sticking to my meal plan. I've been hitting my workouts. I'm gonna have a cookie. It's like, you know, hey, I'll just walk an extra 10 minutes on the treadmill or something. It'll be fine. And I ate said cookie. I think full disclaimer, the cookies came in a package of 2 and I ate both cookies. And I definitely had some digestive issues as well as headaches. So that was a lesson, but it was a painful lesson, but it was a lesson in itself, is that you kind of don't realize the signs of some of the things that you're eating, some of these foods and things that you have when you're naturally eating them every day in your everyday lifestyle. When you cut them out and you add them back in, you notice like it had an effect. I was bloated again for a few days. I had a headache. So it's pretty fascinating. There's been a couple other things that I've treated myself with. So like the other day I had one of those like San Pellegrino, no sugar added juices. I was like, oh, it's only 20 calories for the whole can. Just a little bit, nice treat. I had a headache the next day. So it's very interesting to see how some of these foods are reacting. And of course, I'm very transparent. I always tell my coach, I check in what I've done, and I give him like the ramifications. And he always just goes, don't drink that. We don't drink that. No juice, just water, no cookies. It's one of those things where he's kind of like, see, you brought this upon yourself. Now you see why we don't do these things. So it's been a bit of a learning experience. You know, you learn the hard way, but it's kind of like, yeah, I don't like those effects, so I don't think I'll be doing that again. I haven't been drinking, and not that it's not allowed, which it probably isn't. I haven't asked him. He would probably say no. But I actually haven't had a drink since January 6th. So it's more at this point, I'm kind of just like seeing how long I could go. And I'm actually to the point where I don't miss it. sometimes it's kind of like, oh, it would be so nice, especially as the weather is changing, to like go out and sit on a patio or a rooftop bar and have a drink. But alas, I'm not. No drinks, no alcohol, which I think has also been very beneficial in this whole progress. Communication style. I communicate with my coach through text message, basically, so through WhatsApp, and I check in once a week. So it's, I'm not in a prep phase. I'm in a recomp phase. Recomp weight loss, so once a week is perfectly fine. And that usually includes filling out the check-in form that he's asked and sending progress pictures, which I'm definitely going to post my progress pictures because it's so incredible, the physical change. So I've lost 20 pounds in this 12-week period, but not only have I lost 20 pounds, but my body is reshaping, it's recomping. And you can see the changes. It's incredible. I haven't started posing, which I probably should. All the podcasts, all the people, all the pros will tell you not to wait until for a show to start posing. You should have it in with your routine all the time. Work out, you should pose a couple times a week. Haven't done it. There's just like no time. I was supposed to go to another posing seminar today, but nothing today went as planned, and so I ran out of time. I do have those built into the package with my coach, and so I think probably further down the road, we might start incorporating some posing, just because I kind of would like to be better at it. Getting used to it and posing all the time just makes almost second nature, and so that could honestly be the difference between you winning and you're not. Is you're posing if you're able to be confident on stage, if you're able to show off your physique. So posing TBD. Next is the nutrition in the food. I am meal plan based. I am meal plan based. 5 meals a day. I call them breakfast, snack at this point, lunch, first dinner, and dinner. And they're all, it's all pretty simple. Breakfast, I've kind of actually began exploring with breakfast and kind of creating some different options, which I actually will have a series on Instagram of the different breakfast options I've been able to make out of my foods. One of my all-time favorite is I made this blueberry brownie breakfast cake thing. So amazing. And honestly, I think that's also been what has cut down on some of my sugar cravings, because there isn't any added sugars in it, but the blueberries sweeten it up enough. And then I use the Elevate flavored cream of rice. And so that adds a different flavor, and that actually bakes really well. So meal one right now is some sort of breakfast concoction, be it the breakfast muffin thing or just straight egg whites, English muffin with peanut butter. Meal two is, I found from Costco, best place on earth, is there are these chicken bites that come in a little package, and it is actually just enough. It's just the 3 ounces of grilled chicken that I need that I can just eat on the go, pop them right in my mouth, grab them, throw them in my bag. Like, it's great for being on the go. And then my meal 3 and 4 are typically the same because they are my pre and post workout. So that's some sort of protein. I am partial to basmati rice, so I use basmati rice, and then avocado oil. So, your protein, your carb, your fat. The 5th meal, which is my favorite, is the meal I look forward to all day, is salmon, rice again, with avocado. And I actually found from Costco, once again, this avocado mash that has salt, pepper, and lemon. And it's so good. And again, the little travel cup is just the perfect amount of avocado that's on my plan. So it's that. And then when I'm feeling a little bit hungrier, there is an optional vegetable, zucchini, spinach, or asparagus. I like zucchini, so zucchinis are easy to cook in a batch and throw it in. So a little bit of zucchini, and everything. It's just chef's kiss. So good. I hate when people say chef's kiss, and I just did that. My hunger, it kind of ebbs and flows. It's a little interesting. Some weeks I'm hungrier than other weeks. Some days I'm hungrier than other days. Typically, the days I don't work out at all, so Sundays, are the days, I'm always behind in eating because I get up later. So that means you start eating later. Typically eat 2 to 3 hours apart On a perfect day, I spread them out to 3 hours, and that works out really well. But Sundays, I kind of, I'm not working out at all, and it's my full rest day. It's my favorite day of the week. I eat the same amount no matter what the day is. So if I'm not working out, that tends to be like a little bit more food that's sitting in the body, if that makes any sense. At least that's how I feel. It just kind of sits there. It burns a little slower because I'm not lifting or I'm not doing any sort of cardio. Digestion was a little weird in the beginning, but it's tapered off. I also take a digestive aid, so I think that probably helps in the process, but no real problems with digestion. I think one of the things I noticed immediately after working with my coach was that the bloat, like a lot of the bloat disappeared. And so that's been one of the amazing things for me, training and cardio. I have 5 days in the gym, 6 days of cardio. Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays are my lower body. My Monday's lower body is a little bit of a different workout than my Wednesdays and Fridays. And then Tuesday is back and Friday is shoulders. And then Monday through Saturday is fasted cardio. So 30 minutes of fasted cardio and then 15 minutes post workout. On Thursday, that just means, because Thursday is my other non-gym day, that just means I come home from work after class or whenever I can fit in and just do the remaining 15 minutes. That doesn't always work out that way. Some days, if I have class, I'm not getting home until 8:30. Then I still have to eat. I typically just tack it on to a day later in the week, just add an extra 15 minutes. Or my other favorite thing is just adding 5 minutes to my remaining cardio sessions until I've made up the difference. To say it's kind of a lot. It's not a lot, it's just long. But I am seeing the change in my body, so that of course makes it more exciting to keep going and see how you can keep pushing. For the first time with an upper body workout this past week, I actually worked out to failure. I got a lot of critiques from my coach that I wasn't lifting heavy enough, which, you keep hearing one of the best ways to do is train to failure, train to failure, train to failure. And it's really hard to actually visualize and see what that is until you do. When you pick up a weight and you're like, this is too heavy, I can't do any more than this, I'm gonna go with a smaller weight. That's apparently wrong. So I think I have a video posted on Instagram where my coach said with sort of the exercise in specific was a rear cable reverse. And he said 7.5 is too late. That's too late. You need to go up. So the next weight is 10. By the third set, so it kind of started out early. I think I made it to 6 reps and then I couldn't do any more. Second set was 5 reps. The third set was 3. I made it to 3, technically 2.5, and I just couldn't get the cable to go. I just couldn't do it. So I had to drop the weight and shakily proceed through. But that is allegedly where you make your biggest gains, is training to failure. And now I know exactly what that looks like. And it's one of those things too where you're in a gym full of people and it's sort of an ego thing because now they're all watching you literally struggle to pull this thing apart. You can only laugh. You can literally laugh at how ridiculous you yourself look in the mirror, but what everyone else must be saying. So it was an interesting experience. Definitely one I think I needed to go through to kind of understand the level of difficulty I should be lifting to. So it was definitely a lesson to learn. There's been a couple times I've gone to the gym and I was just like, I cannot lift this. I need to go with a lower weight and just do my best. And in that case, I typically tend to lean toward going slower. Because how I think of it is your muscle development happens time under tension. So if maybe you can't lift heavy, maybe someone's using it or whatever, or you're just not in for lifting heavy. So go slower because that's still adding some sort of tension to your muscles. It's still exhausting your muscles in a different way. So some days I just go in the gym and we're just going to use this 10-pound dumbbell today, and I'm just going to go really slow. My coach is also very, very big on tempo, For him, he says 3 seconds on the negative. So that's the resistance either up, whatever the hardest part of the exercise is, it's 3 seconds. And then when you get to wherever it's supposed to be, you hold. So in the instance of a glute kickback, and that's where you can kick your leg back, it's not quite one because you don't want to swing your leg, but you want to get your leg into the glute position, hold for 2 seconds, and then on the descend 3 seconds. So a lot of tempo. So on the days when I'm just not feeling it, we go for slow and steady. Cardio has been fascinating to say the least. I've always struggled, I can't say always, in my later years, I've struggled with cardio, not because I dislike it, but because I have plantar fasciitis. I was actually diagnosed officially with it about a year and a half ago. Actually, coincidentally, I discovered it while I was wedding shoe shopping, so that was fun. But with plantar fasciitis, one of the things that tend to flare it up is running. Actually, that I'm pretty sure that is how it started. I was doing Orange Theory a lot as I was starting to prepare for my wedding, and I think all of the running with improper shoes led to the stress in my foot. And so the options for cardio for me that I've been given are Stairmaster or incline walking on the treadmill. Well, at the beginning of working with my coach, the incline treadmill was actually flaring it up. And so typically that means my foot is swelling, there's severe pain, in my arch, and it made, working out some days pretty painful. But during this whole process, I've also done some different treatments that have worked to heal, working toward healing plantar fasciitis, as well as keying in that I can't wear flats. I can't go barefoot. So I've been more like heels at work or shoes that have some sort of slight elevation at work. I fully bought into the Hoka. I am a Hoka hero, whatever you want to call it. My workout shoes are Hokas. I specifically bought a pair of commuting sneakers because I commute to work through public transportation. For work, they're easy to slide on, so when I get to work, I can take them off and put my work shoes on. And so I had to switch for a bit of time from the treadmill to the Stairmaster. The Stairmaster is intense. It's intense, kicks your ass for 30 minutes. I don't know how all the girlies say, oh yeah, I go on the Stairmaster for 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, and I'm just typing away or what. No, I cannot do that. I'm also very uncoordinated to the fact where I don't hold on to the Stairmaster or I don't drape myself over like people do. I have to have my arms resting because I am not coordinated enough to walk on the Stairmaster without almost falling off. There's something about the stairs moving that my brain apparently can't comprehend. I can walk up the escalator. I can walk upstairs without holding on, but for some reason, the Stairmaster, I think it's because the stairs roll back. I don't know what it is. I have to hold on. Depending on the week, I do some Stairmaster. This has been one of those weeks where I've had to listen to my body and go a little easy. And so we've been back to the inclined treadmill, which has actually been better. I bought special socks because I'm also prone to blisters, which was another thing that the inclined treadmill walking was aggravating. So also the treadmill is for those days when you wake up, you really don't want to be doing anything at all. And so you just incline walk on the treadmill to make it through. I wouldn't say I have a favorite workout. I'm not going to lie. I like lifting weights. I've always have. It's just been my thing. I've never really been a cardio bunny. I prefer the weight floor. Even with my love Orange Theory, my favorite spot was on the weights. I don't know. I don't know if it's because by the time I work out, it's been a long day, but mostly I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna get through this workout. I do have to say, I think I've come to enjoy the glute kickback. There's just challenging for me, but in an enjoyable way. So next we have recovery and body maintenance. That's been a whole thing in itself. So one of the things I did and starting on this journey because I am an older competitor. I am what they would call a master's competitor. It's just over the years, things have started to break down for me in a way that I don't know, they didn't before. And it's probably, honestly, a big contributing factor to having all of the excess weight that some of these things are hurting. So one of the things I do is I have a podiatrist, as I mentioned, which is a foot doctor. I believe that is the correct term. For my feet, I was doing a little bit of foot therapy. I've done, I think it's called MRL or MSL. I will find the term and tag in the video, which is light therapy. That it is a laser that specifically targets where the plantar fasciitis is, and it penetrates it to sort of dig deep and heal. That has been instrumental in cutting down on the foot pain. Like a lot of the swelling that's just perpetually there over the last year has gone down. I'm finding that like it isn't triggering as much. Also, I think again, investing in great shoes helps. I also have a chiropractor because one of the things that I've noticed is my back hurts a lot. My back hurts sometimes being on the lift in the gym. I don't know, when I hit 30, my knees started popping. I think it might be a result of all those Drop It Low songs in the gym. Not the gym, the club. But here we are. So I have a chiropractor, so that is also bi-weekly, just to help keep everything in. And then I like massage therapy. I've always been a big fan of massages. I have a lot of back pain, I think probably from sitting incorrectly, but also for being, a little bigger in the chest, that there tends to be a lot of pull down on my shoulders. So massage has always been a great way to sort of relieve that stress. So all of those things are bi-weekly. Tomorrow, I'm actually super excited because I am going to be stretched. There is another competitor who does body work, and I was watching some of her videos. Very mesmerized and taken back, in a good way though, with how she was like molding people and stretching them and just kind of all these deep stretches. Everything is stiff on me. Everything hurts. I have a knot the size of a golf ball in my left shoulder, so I'm really hoping that she can stretch and work and put me, like, make everything right. So I'm trying to be better about incorporating stretching. Honestly, I just feel like there's not enough time in the day. Sleep is probably one of the biggest contributing factors to successful health in general, and I'm working on it. There's not enough hours in the day for all the things I have to do, and therefore there is not enough hours for me to sleep. I tend to be in bed around 10 if I'm lucky, and then I get up at about 5:15 to start my day to work out to be able to get ready to go to work. That's 7 hours if you're lucky. I am not a 7-hour sleep. I'm 8 plus. So that's probably been one of the biggest struggles I've had. One of the things I'm really trying to work on is getting to bed early. Now, this is how I fully understand why most bodybuilders are self-employed, because this office schedule is just, it's for the birds, man. It's for the birds. I do take a boatload of fish oil. It's fun. Vitamin D, vitamin C. I mentioned before I am on a digestive aid. I have a cortisol blocker, I believe, or control, and some other ones that I feel like must be doing their job because, like I said, the past 12 weeks, the results have been crazy. And so that's sort of a daily thing. I've become the person that I have a big giant pill container organizer that has the days of the week. And then on Sunday, while I'm meal prepping, I put all my pills into the pill container so I can take them with me. Breakfast, meal 1 and 5, I take enough pills to choke a horse, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they're working. Water. I hate water so very much. I have been prescribed 1.5 gallons, and I'm pretty sure I will never make it there. But I have made strides in the water. It really only works when I'm in the office, though. I haven't been able to figure out how to get it to work at home. I am up to 179 ounces of water. I never thought I would make it to 1 gallon, so the fact that I am able to get this much in is pretty amazing. And it's pretty fascinating because I'm thirsty. Actually, let me go find my water. I get pretty thirsty, actually, without it. And it's kind of insane how your body just like adapts to drinking that much. Some days I still feel like I go to the bathroom 20 times a day, but it is tapering off a little bit. So the tricks, because I have different tricks too. So what works for me is my coach gave me the tip. So he was like, you should be getting through a water, I think he said 40 ounces. You should be getting through 40 ounces with your cardio. That's never going to happen. But I have been getting through 28 ounces, actually. I get through a full one of these in my 30-minute cardio. And that was a shift for me because I have never been the type of person to drink while doing cardio. I have been drinking and getting through one of these through my 30-minute fasted cardio, which is great. And then I do take after that a like greens supplement with glutamine and hair, skin, and nails collagen peptide supplement in the morning, and that goes in another 8 ounces. So already out the gate, you're 36 ounces? That's pretty good. And then when I get to work, I started buying a liter. I get them from also Costco. They're a liter of waters that have electrolytes. Yes. So I have one of these. It has electrolytes in it, which, fun fact for those of you who don't know, that is typically why you don't retain water as well. Electrolytes actually help you keep the water. It retains the salt and whatnot. So anyway, so I have to get through one of these before noon, and then I fill it up at the bubbler at work with, I use Element. So the Element electrolyte powder flavored stuff, which actually makes it a bit easier to drink. And I drink another one of these before my third meal of the day, which then I have pre-workout, which is another 10 to 12 ounces, depending on what I'm filling it with. And then when I go to the gym, I have an intro workout drink, which is glutamine. Why can I not remember now? Glutamine, amino acids, and creatine. And that's in 28 ounces of water. And so, by the time I've got home, 36 trips to the bathroom later, I am already over a gallon. And then I have to eat dinner and choke down another set of horse pills. So then that's possibly another 28 ounces of water. And then sometimes I have tea. So it's like all of these different tricks to kind of get all your liquids in. It's great. I'm hydrated all the time. I've even become the person who tries to carry my water bottle around the mall. And let me tell you, that's kind of difficult to have a water bottle in one hand and trying to shop in the other. And my husband's like, you brought it with you, you carry it. So, every little thing helps. All the tricks, all the tips. So as I mentioned, my physical progress has been amazing. I'm so excited. Lost 20 pounds in 12 weeks. To me, that's insane. It's absolutely insane. I did not take body measurements, so unfortunately, I don't know what I lost. Maybe that's probably what I'll do in my next phase. But it's been kind of crazy because all of the non-scale victories, like all of my clothing. It's also crazy how much better my clothes look on me now, how much they fit better, how much they lay better. It's crazy. And so those small non-scale victories, I had a bunch of clothing that I really liked that was just a little too small that I've gotten from various trips to Europe that I wasn't really ready to give away, but we'll pack them away, and I put them on. It's like having all of these, brand new clothes that still had tags on them, and they actually fit now. They actually fit properly. On the other side of that, though, a prime example was today. I was trying to get dressed to go to a flower arranging event that I did not end up making because I couldn't find anything to wear. My jeans were all too big. My belts need 20 more holes in it. And I was just, at the end of the day, all I had was either work attire, dresses, or skirts. It's cold out. I was like, none of my clothes fit. It's a good problem to have and a bad problem to have. But yeah, so that's been amazing, exciting, and frustrating. So my side-by-sides, I actually am going to post the full 12-week side-by-side. And then the other side-by-side is for the 2 months that I've worked with my coach, because in those 2 months is more of when the body shape was beginning to occur. I've definitely noticed a lot of definition, a lot of my muscles in my legs beginning to show. I feel like my body as a whole has more shape other than just round. So it's been awesome. It's been pretty good. Work has been slightly stressful, just kind of on and off, just because of a lot of stuff that's going on. So I don't, for those of you that know, I am actually a federal employee. So a lot of the ever-changing things that are happening do play a little bit into my state of mind. But I think for the most part, I've found ways to be positive about it and not think about it. Denial is a very good defense mechanism. But it thankfully hasn't really affected too much how I feel about this process. There's been, I can say I haven't had a whole lot of lows, but those are typically just the day. I had a pretty rough week I think it was in February, before I took a week off. It was in March. Just before I took a week off, I was just having an incredibly rough week. I just couldn't get out of my own way. I was just so tired. I don't know what was going on. I think my subconscious knew I was coming toward having a whole week off, and it was just like, I'm ready to be out, ready to be done. So I think, it was just a little bit rough there. I took the week off, which was nice. It was nice to just have no real places I had to be, no things I had to do other than getting my workout in. So it was nice just to kind of go by my own schedule. But it's been pretty fascinating. I'm pretty proud of how disciplined I've been able to be. I've had quite a few happy hours. I've gone to meet friends for drinks where I'm drinking soda water. Or I did try and I had a Sprite, and I had a headache afterwards. So artificial sweeteners, not your friend. But mostly a lot of friends are understanding and they're getting it, and I don't tell people what I'm doing. I just kind of make my decision, and then, if someone asks, sure, I'll tell them, but I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to touch you, like, I'm not drinking or whatever. I just kind of go about it, and I just, make my healthier decision and just move on. And I will say it is hard sometimes when there's so many good foods and things being eaten and being had, and you're standing over there thinking about when you're going to eat your rice and chicken next. But I have had a lot more willpower than I thought I did, and I'm pretty proud, considering I haven't been able to stick to a diet plan outside of Whole30 for any type of reason. So this has been great. I'm just so excited. It's like, who knew 20 pounds makes such a difference? I think the one downfall, though, which, as a woman, you kind of already know this, is I'm losing some of my boobs, and it's just like, they're just sort of deflating, It's a little bit sad because I don't want them to go so quickly. My emotional and mental state. So my focus for the next 3 months is, now that I've made substantial progress. I'm the lightest I've been in about 8 years. And so I'm doing a lot of research and listening to podcasts and things like that. I actually just bought a whole slew of books, bodybuilding books. It's because I really want to learn and understand what it is that my body can do, what I can do to make my body the best presentation, aside from the advice from my coach, and in parallel with the advice from my coach, just kind of understand the way the human body is made up and different things that we've done. Like, what can this machine do, So I'm really trying to dial it in and focus a little bit more, work a little harder in the gym, that mind-muscle connection they're talking about, focusing on that. I've kind of learned I can't listen to podcasts while working out because I'm not focusing on the actual workout. Probably the past few weeks I've had some of the best workouts because I've really been trying to focus on the activity that I'm doing and thinking about the muscle and where it's supposed to be contracting and how it's supposed to feel. I've become one of those annoying people who are filming their workouts in the gym. I really try not to do it all the time, but Yeah, I hate it. I absolutely hate when I have to do it. But, you know, how are you going to get better? Because since my coach is not here and I don't have a trainer, but I'm really just trying to hone in because it's much easier to build muscle out of fat. I know that doesn't make any sense, but a lot of people often take time off. They'll bulk and then they will, you know, build from there. Why not build from all the fat I already got? So I'm really trying to hone in the next few months before I'm not going to get too skinny too fast, but before I lose, you know, more body fat, why don't I try to put some of this body fat to work? And I think posing is probably another thing I should start working on. I would love, my plan when I started this was to do a show in July. I still want to work toward that goal. I don't know how realistic it is, but I that is what I'm pressing toward. It is the goal. It's what I'm working toward. It's what I keep reminding myself. I have the flyers all over my house. I have it pinned up at work on my monitor to remind me that I'm working toward a goal, this particular goal. And one of the other fascinating things is there's kind of been a shift too. It's like, yes, this was the original reason. Like this was the state that the goal I was reaching for. This is why I decided to do the thing in the first place. But as I'm going through and I'm seeing the progress and I'm seeing my body change, I'm becoming more of like, okay, well, what else can I do? How far can I push it without breaking? And other things, you know, I have ambitions to compete internationally. I feel like it combines my love of travel, which I haven't left the country yet this year. And so I'm kind of having like travel fever with this new goal of bodybuilding. It would be so much fun to compete in Italy, like my favorite country during, I don't know if this is my favorite thing, like one of my favorite things, like why not? I think my focus too, and sort of where you guys might see a lot of the content go is I am getting into the sport late in life. I am 35. I will be 36 years old. So that is a master's competitor. Most people have competed before now. They've done this thing for a few years or before at a younger age. And so for me, it's kind of like, well, you know, you're coming into a thing late. But there's a whole world. Like the master's competitive world is so big. I think it's so largely untapped. At least I don't see a lot of people talking about it, that I'm kind of just interested in seeing where it goes. You know, I want to inspire other people who think that it's too late in life to do some crazy thing like bodybuilding. You can do it. You can do it if you're busy. It doesn't matter. It just kind of takes discipline, setting up systems, you know, staying consistent, just showing up. For me, that's really what this is all about. Showing up and proving to myself that I can do it. You know, maybe, who knows, maybe I'll get to this show in July and realize I absolutely hate it. And this is the worst thing ever. I highly doubt it because I used to be a pageant competitor, so I kind of know what that's a bit about. I'm excited, you know, pretty excited. But anyway, long video. Definitely wanted to update you guys. 12 weeks is a long time. So I just wanted to update you on all the stuff. Make sure if I left something out, let me know. But thank you so much for watching and following along. Instagram is mostly where a lot of the updates come. It's a lot of where the shorter content comes from because this takes so much time. So please comment down below if you have any questions or if you want to share your fitness journey. Give me any tips about how I can find the willpower to continue with my busy schedule and just doing this crazy thing. I want to give a shout out to my coach, Ben, with Ops Team. He's been great. It's been great. I'm really hoping that someday I'll make it to stage. But no, it's been a ride. I've had a lot of fun so far, and I'm really stoked to see what the next 12 weeks brings, because now that I've kind of got this under my feet, I've kind of figured it out, I've got my processes down, it's going to be great. And especially, you know, I have my lovely husband who's now finally starting to join me on this journey. So watch out, world. You can have a power couple coming at ya. All right. Thanks, guys. Until next time.